Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovely bodies of light, seekers and sojourners of truth, the 144, chosen of the chosen few. I'm back again for part 2 of Saturn's exposure. All right, and I greet you in the love that lights the truth. From my heart to yours, I'm Akila Tech Street again, in the divine energy essence of it all, reporting to you from none other than 5D, bringing you the news to infuse, if you so choose to, either infuse or listen to this exposure of the light grid, coming up off of the light grid, letting you know this is what's really going on, right? So I must say this. I usually don't like to talk about the 3D matters when it comes to 5D. Like, that's just not where I am right now. I used to talk about it a lot more in my lives on Facebook and so forth. But that's when I was at that level. I was aware and seeing all these things and bringing it to the forefront. Now I'm deeper into my spiritual work. As I said, third degree chosen few in the video before this. So I am aware of where I am, and this is the level, right? So it's like no need to address the 3D paradigm, the 3D shadows. But sometimes every now and then I'm realizing I may have to touch base on it a little bit. Maybe for some of those that are still in the 3D paradigm or may not know how to look at this. And most importantly, I want to say this so that those of us who are spiritual beings, who are entering into 5D, who are spiritual beings, upping our degrees of spirituality, so that we're not fooled by some of these things in 3D. So this is about Saturn's 5D exposure, right, of the P.Diddy Terrence Howard experiment. And I'm calling it just that for a reason, because there are two things happening right now, right? There are two things happening there with this experiment, right? I'm not saying it together as it is one, but it is two separate things happening as it relates to exposure. And I'm going to really go into this. I may say some things that may offend some people who choose to hold on to a certain view, but I'm not here to protect your feelings about personal attachments that you may still have. I'm here to simply be in truth. So as I say that, let me remind us, for those who, there's some things I may say that you may have to refer to the video previous to this, the part 1 of Saturn's exposure, where I'm really breaking down the how we're being separated, the sheep from the goat are being separated, and the 3 degrees or the 3 levels of the chosen few. So this highlights only those who are third degree will be able to see what I'm saying right now. Those at second degree may be able to see some of what I'm saying, and at first degree you may not agree with a lot of what I'm saying, but I'm going to say it anywho. So let me start with this P.Diddy debauchery. Right, first and foremost, we are to know that these are distractions. These are distractions that they throw in the mix. All right, and it's being thrown in the mix, but I don't want to talk about it in the sense of it just being a conspiracy, right? It's not just simply that. However, we know where it comes from. We know the higher ups that have their hands in it. However, it is for us to know that according to Saturn's exposure, it is time. It is time right now for a lot of these celebrities to be exposed. And it's not just celebrities. There's a lot of people being exposed. You are being exposed. I am being exposed. We are all having parts of our life where we're being highlighted. It's being highlighted. The flashlight, the po-po Saturn is coming in and whoop, 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 and shaking us all down. But most importantly, the celebrities. Why? Because we are invested. Most of this world is invested in celebrities. We don't watch our own lives because we're so busy watching the lives of celebrities, right? This is why on your feed, as you look at it, as soon as something happens with a celebrity, it's heavy in your feed. That's how I know what's going on. I don't watch the news, but oftentimes I know what's happening and what's changing in the atmosphere by what is being filtered, superimposed in my feed. If it's something that's happening a lot of, I already know, okay, this is the next attention grabber. This is the thing they want everybody to look at. And they usually utilize celebrities because this is where people invest their time and their energy outside of getting up, taking care of your bills, taking care of your family, and they know that because you do all of that, they feed you entertainment to quench you. And this is what people have been feeding on: junk food, entertainment. Enter and attain your mind. This is a new form of colonialism. They're colonizing your minds, and they've been doing it for years. This ain't nothing new. Ever since television was made and they got their hands on it. I'm not saying all television is bad, but it became that way because of the powers that are, orchestrating the media and orchestrating what the images that they choose to put out for us. So subliminal messages, all of those things are subconsciously superimposed on our minds, and it becomes our life. So they know that celebrities is what catches everyone's eye. So now they have the distraction of P.Diddy that is shaking everything down. And I say that to say this: don't get caught in the gossiping of it and talking about it in the way where, oh my God, I'm shocked. No, we're not. No, we're not. Most of us that are third degree chosen or even second degree chosen, we're not shocked and we're not entertained by this either, right? There are some people that claim that they're not about this, but yet they are also entertained by it. Look at the way they talk about it. If it's the first thing you talk about as you come to work, especially in the barbershops and salons where there's a lot of gossiping, as soon as y'all come in, it's, hey, you heard what happened to P. Diddy? Did it? You already knew. We already knew. This is not a shock. However, it is being brought to the forefront. It is an exposure. And let's be real, it's not nothing that people weren't aware of before. And some people were highlighting it before, but the world chose to turn a blind eye. So it's only when those who have the upper hands pull the strings that they're ready to cause they're ready to cause a distraction. So he's the scapegoat distraction that is helping to shake down and have people look at it and go, I clench my pearls. He is disgusting. Oh my gosh. As I look over, I don't know where this snail came from, but there is a snail moving very sluggishly. There's a word in that. There's a slug. There's a snail. And see, just like again, entertainment and the powers that were, they move just like that. Like, where did you come from? And they leave a slimy trail. As I'm look at the slimy trail. That's what's happening. They're leaving a disgusting slimy trail by means of P. Diddy. He's their snail that they're moving across sluggish like, right? Because this has been happening and unraveling for the past couple of weeks. It feel like months, right? It feel like months to me that this was, I could see when it was slowly unraveling already. I believe it's actually when Saturn went back into Pisces, because last year it went in March. It first entered Pisces and then it retrograded and went back into Aquarius for a little bit, the final degrees of Aquarius, and then forward again when it went direct around, I want to say last year, November, December, it went into 0 degrees, right back at 0 degrees, because it was letting us know, hey, look back again. I want you to look at what was highlighted to you. Now you done had some time to sit back. Now we're bringing it forward again. So around that time, I started to already see some unraveling. So all of a sudden it's being thrown in our feed and I'm supposed to clutch my pearls. No, I say that so that we open our minds to the truth of this experience, this experiment. It is an experiment, and they're utilizing him as the scapegoat. Does that mean that he didn't do it? No, but I'm not here to argue about that point on whether he did it or not and if it's right or wrong. This is the debate that they want us to have. What I want to highlight is the point that it is an exposure. It is an exposure of what has been happening, and what it's saying to us is for all of us. Don't just look at him. Remember, life is a reflection. So as you look at that mirror and you're pointing at him, know how many fingers are pointing back at you. And now ask yourself, what is the exposure of you? Right? So I say that so that as we look at that exposure, we too look back on ourselves and be like, what is it that it needs to come to the forefront? What is something that I already knew had been existing, that I put up with, that I've dealt with? Right? Some of us have been in situations where we have seen women getting treated that way and have done nothing about it, right? And let me not get on these Me Too movements, these which remind me of like the Black Lives Matter. All of these movements are cover-ups, but they are not actually doing what needs to be done to take care of, to dismantle the behavior within the community, right? We have our own personal power. We enable it to keep going when we in the community say and do nothing, when we watch our family members and friends treat others in this manner and choose not to say nothing because, oh, it's my friend or it's my family member and I just mind my own business, or this is how we grew up. If this is how we grew up, then that paints the picture in society that something is wrong here. And now this exposure is saying it's time for all of us who have a responsibility to say something, to do something about it, to not stand by idly and watch this behavior happen and still be friends with these people. Some people may say, well, what do I do? Stop being friends with them. Stop going around them. Stop catering to them. Because if you don't do anything and you keep catering to them, then you are silently telling them that it is okay. So you play a part in enabling this type of behavior. Not just P. Diddy. We're talking about our regular P. Diddy's in our family. Our regular P. Diddy's in the friend circle, in the community, whom you may know that does X, Y, and Z. It is time. The exposure is there because it's time for you to do something about it. Whether it's beating up on women, whether it's doing just any type of wrongful deeds, robbery, right? Any type of robbery, right? Lies. You standing right by idly while you watching your friend just lie and con people out of their money, out of their time, out of their energy. You stand by witnessing that. It is time for us to be the ones to stop enabling this behavior. That's what this is saying. You may say, I'm not the government, I'm not the police. That's true, but you are you. And we have a part to play in the community that we are existing in the family that we are existing in. We play that part. So if you're waiting on the government to come in and say, hey, stop doing this, come on. Exposure is happening for a reason, to shake down those of you who say you are spiritual, yet you stand by and idly watch the deviant behaviors of others, and you co-sign to that energy by doing nothing about it. This is what I'm highlighting about this experiment. It's saying so much and doing so much on so many levels. So look at what this means for you as you look at this P. Diddy, debauchery that's happening, right? This show. And know that they already knew what he was doing. Those people that's shaking him down right now. They knew, they watched, they allowed it to happen. And they wait till something is not going their way or whenever they want to set him up. And then just like R. Kelly, they move in and tear down his name and tear down his fame and everything that they gave him. They're the ones that built up his name and gave him that fame. And they have this mentality of, like, how people say, I brought you in this world, I take you out. They have that mentality as, I made you, I can break you. And they truly can if they really believe in that society, which they do. They built their life on what that secret society has promised them, so to speak. That elite society has promised them, that deviant elite society. Let me say it that way. Because when I say elite, I'm talking about the spiritual elites. I don't care about the deviant elites. They have no reality, no true time reality existence in my world. And those who rock in my world in 5D the way I do, right? So they can only be an impression upon others. So I say that to that part of the experiment. So in that part of the P. Diddy experiment, that distraction was shown. It was shown to you to kind of plop you out with a shock, like, and pull something out of you. Whereas, and here's the other part, whereas Terrence Howard is a pacifier. So there's a pull out and there's a pop in. So Terrence Howard now, as I'm going to say, and this may be where some people disagree, you can. This is what I call a pop-up distraction. And if you notice, this is happening around the same time of P. Diddy. It's paralleling, right? You have this and you have this happening at the same time. And so I'm going to say this to say this. This is where you know the third degree chosen ones who really have the eyes to see the truth. And I'm going to break this down as much as I can. This Terrence Howard, I was going to wait till I watched the whole thing, I'm going to be honest, before sharing any information about it. But my spirit highlighted to me, as it normally does, that, do you really need to watch? You know the truth within. You know that when you watch it, whatever parts you have watched settle with you a certain way. I can see the truth just by people's pictures, videos. Like, I can feel the vibration. I'm clairsentient strongly. I can feel. I'm not even going to deny my authority that I walk in. I know the authority that I walk in. I know the high priestess energy that I walk in. I don't need nobody to tell me. So I'm seeing this energy and I'm feeling it, and I'm looking around at everybody like, really? Are they not seeing what I'm seeing? And let me be clear when I say this. He's stating truths, right? He is stating truths. But we need to look at the source in which it is coming from. Not but, and. He is stating truths, and we need to look at the source. And I'm going to say this before I go any further. I'm going to have to pull on my brother Malcolm X. And I'm going to ask anyone who has seen the Malcolm X interview when he said, entertainers cannot be leaders. And for those who know why, truly know why. And there's a video out there that shows the white liberals and white conservatives at a table discussing how to separate black people, how to pull out leaders in the black group, put them on a high pedestal in order to have the rest follow them, or to create disharmony between them, like as in the field slave, house slave type mentality, to keep that going. They know how to build rifts between people. So this was their way to contain and control the blacks during that time. So what I say is, as I'm a firm believer, as Malcolm X said this, and this stood in my mind strongly as I listened to Terrence Howard. You are an entertainer. Again, enter and attain the mind is the goal of the sublime. Enter and attain the mind is the goal of the messages of sublime. Okay? So here he is now. He's an actor. This is the first. He is the best kind of entertainer. They can act. They can learn lines. He could play a part of being a genius. So for me to say he's a genius right now, I'm not saying no, but I'm definitely not saying yes either. And so I'm asking us to use the spirit of discernment. We are in the times where we are to discern what is happening. And although he's coming with truths, look at the source in which it's coming from. This is a pop-up distraction, and this is also Trojan horse mentality. He is seriously a Trojan horse that's being placed in the gates of spirituality to help fool those in spirituality. Again, this is happening to separate the sheep from the goat. So as they pull out P.Diddy to distract everybody with a wild distraction and bring a little bit of shock, then they plug in input Terrence Howard to highlight to the spiritual community, especially those who are new to the spiritual community, because this is who, they're the pivoting people, the new ones, the first degree chosen people, the new to the 5D. They're pivotal because they're on the fence. This is why you have to pick a side, as Sister Myra said. You have to pick a side. We're at the point where you have to use your discernment, and you have to be able to tell the difference between falsities and falsities of illusion and realities of truth. And so you have to pick a side. You cannot straddle the fence. You're going to get hurt straddling the fence. So right now, people, those new ones are very pivotal. They could go either way. So it's like, ooh, I'm becoming spiritual, but ooh, look what's happening in 3D. Ooh, P.Diddy, da-da-da-da-da. And then, ooh, Terrence Howard. Ooh, he's so a genius. He's so wise. So I'm going to say this. This is what Spirit was showing me to look at. For one, where's his catalog? We have people that have been saying things that Terrence Howard has been saying for years. For years, and they have a catalog. Years from maybe even back to the 70s, right? We have people that have been describing these things in different ways, in their own paradigm and their own understanding and descriptions, and have been breaking a lot of these truths down. And I can see the correlations. So what he's saying is nothing new. He's not a pop-up genius, as people are like, oh, what a genius. And I'm not saying this to tear him down. He may have had an epiphany, as some people are saying. But could he have had an epiphany? Yes, he could have. But I'm going to say this, as Spirit has showed to me. You don't have a catalog, Terrence Howard, to be this type of person. We know you to be an actor. And as Malcolm X said, entertainers cannot truly be your leaders. They have to go through some type of experience. What is his experience? Where is his catalog? Where did he go off into the mountains somewhere or disappear somewhere? And I'm not saying it had to happen like that. But where did you have this epiphany, and how? Did he do an ayahuasca? These are things that we got to look at. You can't just pop up on the screen and say, I'm a genius now. What is this, your new script? You know, this is what Spirit is showing me. He's an actor. This is his part. He's easily playing a new script. You know, action, and here he goes. So if it's something that's true, then where's your catalog? And even if he really had an epiphany, I'm saying we need to sit back and let him unfold. Don't be so quick to jump on his bandwagon and say, oh yeah, this is truth. This is true, just because he's spitting truth. Right? He's spitting facts of truth. Information. Facts is information. He's given a lot of information of truth. Again, I'm not denying the truth because I know the truth. But as he's saying it, it's stuff that I already had in my book. And I know most other geniuses, most other third degree chosen people that have a lot of this information, and those of us who've been getting downloads for the past couple years or so, we already know this information. Terrence Howard is not telling me anything new. He may be saying it with different words, but he's not saying anything new. As I listen to it, I'm going, oh, okay, yeah, that's right here in my book. Oh, that's right here in my book. Where? In the book of life within. Because as I said, when you do the work, when you do the soul work, you have the keys and you unlock these multiple dimensions of your soul. And we all have access to this information. We all have access to the Akashic records within. He is not the only one. And he doesn't get to pop up out of nowhere doing all of these interviews and tours or whatever he's doing to highlight his geniosity. This is a pop-up distraction. This is a serious Trojan horse. And so what do you do with a Trojan horse? You put him in and you let him open up and fool the people. So I say this so that spiritual people open up this eye right here. I'm not even going to say open up your eyes. Open up this eye right here. Decalcify your third eye. Become a third degree chosen of the chosen few. Chosen of the chosen of the chosen, so you can know the difference. And this is what helps me. I say this so those of us watching other spiritual people, this helps me separate the sheep from the goat and know who is truly spiritual and who is not. We have serious spiritual people right now. If I hear a spiritual person who is praising what he is saying and not highlighting and questioning where it's coming from, then that is a sign that you are not third degree chosen of the chosen few. And you are leading some people astray into believing. You're helping people believe and validate this person. Again, I'm not speaking of what he's talking about because I know truth when I hear it. But anyone can learn this truth. It's called learned. Anyone can learn this stuff, memorize it like a script, and read it like a script. We got to remember, these actors are just that. They know how to act. Even when they give speeches, I'm looking at them. When they're at awards and giving speeches and breaking down, and I'd be like, the Academy Award. Because they know how to act that. They've done that in movies where they can break down, they can cry, and they can make it so believable. Whatever part that they're playing is very believable. That's why they're great actors. And this is what I'm saying. We have to look at the evidence in the energy. Remember, the energy, everything is in the atmosphere. What is the evidence of what he has been playing? He's been playing parts. This is a new part. And if it's true, then I need to sit back and just observe. I'm not jumping on that bandwagon. I'm going to sit back and watch how he unfolds. What does he look like in the next year or two? Is he going to jump back into Scream and lights, camera, action? What is he going to do in the next couple years? This is Trojan horse, right? And I say this to remind us of how time and time again they usurp us. They usurp our energy. It's just like astrology, what they've taken from the stars, from the Kemetic people. Is this information true? Yes. Did they usurp this information? Yes. Did they trick you into believing them? Did they capture you with it? Yes. Because now you believe this astrology to be Greek and all of this, and you forget where it truly came from. You forget that you were usurped. And it's the same thing with this Trojan horse. What does a Trojan horse do? It comes in to trick and capture you. Is he speaking truth? Yes. Did he usurp this truth? Possibly. Yes, he can. It's not impossible. And is he tricking people, capturing people with this truth? Hell yeah. Because a lot of people just running with it. Did you see this? Did you see that? And at first I was like, oh, let me see what this is. This sounds good. But as I watch it, I see, and it does not, I don't have a truth resonance within. I know that it's truth that he's speaking, but it is what's already in me. So you're not telling me nothing new. And true third degree chosen people know this. You're not telling me nothing new. And I'm going to be the one to speak on it because I don't hear nobody else speaking on it. I don't hear no other. I've heard other interviews and I have not heard other spiritual people who should know better, who do know better. I don't know if they're scared to speak out against it or what. And I'm not speaking out against the truth. I'm asking us to open our eye and understand, overstand, and understand when you see a Trojan horse being placed in. We have to be able to see that spiritual people during the time of Saturn. Remember, Saturn is the Lord of Karma in the house of Karma. This Trojan horse is being placed in our spiritual house to fool a lot of you, to deter a lot of you who are on this path and on this journey. Do not be fooled by the superficial spirituals, or as I call them, the superficially spiritual people, the superficially spiritual programs, because they are putting these programs in place. Y'all don't think they don't notice that the world is awakening and they have to turn with the world in order to keep their authority, in order to keep their control that they feel like they have. Control. I get what I want. That's what they want. So as I say, look at this spiritual, this Saturn's 5D exposure of this P.Diddy, Terrence Howard experiment. This is an experiment. And know what the Trojan horse means. Know your spiritual level. And I say this for those of us to really recognize who you are following. Some of the people that you're following may be first degree or second degree chosen people. And only the third degree will really know where I'm coming from. Will really resonate and know that, oh, this is exact. You're not alone. Let me speak to my third degree people. I know I'm not the only one that was seeing this. You're not alone. Right? And I say this so again, at a spiritual level, not to be gossiping about the 3D shadows because I don't have time for that, but to utilize what we see happening around us to see where we stand in our spiritual journey, in our spiritual walk, and to not be shaken, not be moved, and do not let a Trojan horse inside your gates. Spiritual people in their spiritual house, do not open those gates to the Trojan horse, to the pop-up distractions, right? So I shared that with you all. If there's anything more, I will add to it. But this is what I got with that so far. Let me know if you have any comments, any ideas on that. What is your opinion on it? What did you think about the whole Terrence Howard thing? Because I'm going to be honest, as I saw it, I saw actor. I heard my brother, father, Malcolm X saying, hey, entertainers cannot be leaders. And the minute I just saw Showtime, all I saw was Afro circus, polka dot, Afro. And here he go, right? Look at his credibility. Look where he come from. Y'all tell me where his catalog is. Where is your spiritual catalog, sir? And if you just popped up, then I need to sit back and watch you unfold. I'm saying Saturn is here exposing some things, and I'm looking at the takedown and the shakedown, and you will not distract me. So while we're looking at the shakedown and the takedown of P. Diddy, don't let Terrence Howard come in. It's paralleling at the same time. One is pulling a pacifier out, one is plopping one in. Don't let them fool you with showing you the shakedown and then feeding you a Trojan horse. They want to pretend ooh, look, we shaking up. Wake up, spiritual community. We helping y'all to wake up. Look at this. To feed your ego, your misappropriated ego, by giving you something to talk about to distract you from doing your own soul work and not looking at you. And then giving you a Trojan horse so you can go, oh, look at that. And furthermore, not look at you. This is the goal of the deviant energy. Please stay focused on your soul's journey, on your soul work, and continue to excavate your soul and look at you. Remove the soot off your soul and become a third degree chosen one. I'm saying, come out of that karmic loop and become a third degree chosen one. I'm saying, come into true time reality of the 5D community. I'm saying with this throat chakra activity, right? So again, like, subscribe, and share. Comment if you dare. Let me know right here, where you stand and what you see going on. With that, I love you all. Each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out. And be the candle that lights the next one and the next one and the next one. Stay sharp. Sharpen your sensors. Peace, love, and light.